History is written by those who understand the mechanics of power and strategy. True sovereignty is a prize won by the strategic, not the entitled. Fortune is a violent river. It demands a master to contain it. To rule is to wear many faces while showing none to the world.
Consider the tower. It stands because its foundation is deep and its stone is solid. In business, as in statecraft, relying on the temporary is a recipe for ruin. Many seek the easy path, hiring the loyalty of others with coin. But when the wind turns cold and the sky darkens, that purchased loyalty vanishes like smoke in a storm. Mercenaries are useless and dangerous. They have no motive to stand by you except for a small wage, which is never enough to make them want to die for you. When the real crisis arrives, they are the first to flee, leaving you exposed. Your defense must be built on something far more permanent than a simple transaction. Lesson 1. Competence creates its own gravity. It is often said it is better to be feared than loved, but the truth is more nuanced. You must avoid being hated while commanding respect. This respect is built through the visible, relentless pursuit of excellence. When your work is undeniable, your position becomes unassailable. A leader who demonstrates mastery over their craft earns a loyalty that fear can never buy. Look at the structure you have built. It is not just a wall, it is a testament to your foresight. People follow those who know the way, those who have proven they can withstand the pressures of the world through sheer skill. Lesson 2. Fortune favors the prepared. Many wait for luck to strike, but the wise man knows that luck is merely the intersection of preparation and opportunity. You must settle your accounts before the storm arrives. Clear the path of old debts and lingering obligations so you can move with total freedom when the moment demands. While others are swept away by the flood, you must be the one who built the dikes and dams years in advance. This requires a cold, analytical eye. Do not rush to judgment, but do not hesitate to act when the data is clear. Fortune is a force of nature, and if you wish to master her, you must be bold. Lesson 3. Self-reliance is the only true security. A leader who depends on the arms of others is never safe. In the modern world, this means controlling your own revenue streams and your own narrative. If your survival depends on the whims of a platform or a partner, you are not a ruler. You are a tenant. Build your financial defense while the sun is shining. The time to secure your perimeter is not when the enemy is at the gate, but when they are still a distant rumor. True power comes from the ability to say no, and you can only say no when you have built a fortress that requires nothing from the outside. Lesson 4. Master the art of appearance. People judge by the eye rather than the hand. Everyone sees what you seem to be, but few know what you really are. This is not about deception, but about the strategic use of your public image to achieve your goals without unnecessary conflict and resistance. Manage your reputation as carefully as your capital. A single, well-timed display of generosity or strength can buy you years of peace. Let your successes be visible and your struggles be private. By controlling the narrative of your rise, you influence the behavior of both your allies and your rivals in your favor. Lesson 5. Beware the trap of rapid change. New systems are difficult to establish and dangerous to maintain. When you innovate, you make enemies of those who thrived under the old order. Move with calculated precision and never outpace your own shadow. Success is a marathon of strategy, not a sprint of impulse. Strategy is not about the breadth of your movement, but the precision of your placement. Building wealth requires a staged approach where every new asset acts as a fortification for the last. A single, well-calculated maneuver can secure a position that 1,000 frantic trades cannot. You must ensure that each step you take is capable of defending itself before moving to the next. Lesson 6 demands that you study your enemies as closely as your allies. In the world of finance, your competitors are your greatest teachers. By analyzing their failures and dissecting their successes, you gain the intelligence necessary to anticipate their next move. Knowledge is the only edge that does not dull with time, provided you look where others refuse to see. True intelligence is cumulative. It is built upon layers of historical precedent and deep market analysis. To outmaneuver a threat, you must understand its lineage and its logic. When you possess a deeper reservoir of knowledge than your adversary, their most aggressive actions become predictable. You do not react to the market. You read it like a map you have already memorized. Lesson 7 is a cold necessity. Never let gratitude replace judgment. In business, a favor is a temporary bridge, not a permanent foundation. Relying on the goodwill of those you have helped is a vulnerability. A leader's decisions must remain clinical and detached. When emotions like gratitude cloud your vision, you lose the ability to see the shifting loyalties that drive the financial world. The moment you allow debt, whether financial or moral, to dictate your path, you have surrendered your sovereignty. True power lies in internal management and self-reliance. By turning away from the distractions of public opinion and focusing on the ledger of your own resources, you maintain the clarity needed to strike when the time is right. Your workspace is your true battlefield. Lesson 8. Build your fortresses in times of peace. A stone dam does not wait for the flood to be reinforced. In finance, this means establishing your reserves while the market is calm. By creating controlled channels for your capital, you ensure that when the inevitable surge of volatility arrives, it is directed into your reservoirs rather than washing away your foundations. Observe the fields that remain dry while the water is managed. This is the result of foresight. Preparing your treasury before the storm arrives is the hallmark of a master strategist. While others scramble to react to a crisis, you are already insulated. You do not hope for stability. You manufacture it through the deliberate containment of your most vital resources. Lesson 9 addresses the brief use of hard decisions. A crown and a ledger carry equal weight. One represents authority, the other represents reality. Sometimes the most merciful path is the swiftest, most decisive action. Dragging out difficult financial cuts or personnel changes only breeds long-term resentment. A single, sharp correction is often more effective than 1,000 small compromises. Prioritize substance over status. When forced to choose, the hand that rests on the ledger is the hand that survives. Making hard decisions quickly prevents the slow rot of indecision. You must be willing to be perceived as cold in the short term to ensure the long-term health of your empire. Efficiency is the highest form of professional integrity. Lesson 10. The crowd is moved by appearances, but the ruler is moved by results. As the gates close and the torches are lit, the public sees the strength of the walls. They do not see the intricate mechanics of the defense. You must manage your public image with care, but never mistake the applause of the crowd for the security of your position. Do not build your strategy around impressing the casual observer. A professional defense is quiet, orderly, and substantial. While others perform for the market, you must focus on the structural integrity of your assets. The appearance of strength is a tool, but the reality of strength is a requirement. Let the crowd admire the gates. You must master the watchtower. Lesson 11 is the art of adaptation. Fortune is a river that changes its course without warning. Wisdom is not found in resisting the flow, but in building the infrastructure to redirect it. When the market shifts, your ability to pivot without losing your foundation is what defines your success. Flexibility is the highest form of intelligence in an unpredictable world. The long-term benefits of a well-managed system are visible in the growth it sustains. When you adapt to fortune's changes, you protect the future. Lush, green prosperity is not an accident. It is the result of containment, direction, and the wisdom to know when to hold back and when to release. Your financial territory thrives only when it is governed by foresight. As dawn breaks over the completed fortress, we see the culmination of these principles. Governing your own financial life is not a matter of luck, but of architecture. You have built a structure that is now part of the landscape itself, permanent, resilient, and sovereign. The work of a prince is to ensure that his territory remains secure long after the initial struggle. This is the manual for your financial territory. A kingdom that is well governed is a kingdom that prospers in every season. By applying these lessons, fear, fortune, defense, and appearance, you move from being a subject of the market to being its master. The sun rises on a land that is ordered, secure, and entirely yours.